Just about set. They're all in. They're off. Festival Day 4 underway with the Group 3 Sky Bet Strensall Stakes over a mile and a furlong. Just taking a while to sort themselves out into racing formation. Boiling Point with the white cap is going enthusiastically down at the running rail. Handy, and so too Bullet Point in the pale pink silks. Just taking a while to cross over and just holding out Gladius, the claret silks, in about 4th position, wide of Skukuza in the light blue. Another who's inclined to take a bit of a grip as they go through the first quarter mile and is reined back now behind King of Cities, the spotted cap who goes handy, moving up into the leading trio. Beaumark in a striped jacket also sliding past Skukuza, who's now only got 2 behind. Check and Challenge in the cheap piece is one of them, and King's Gambit ridden with patience by Danny Tutto at the back of the field. So approaching halfway in the Sky Bet Strensall, they're about to turn on in. Boiling Point and Clifford Lee, white cap, bring them into the straight and a little off the inside running rail. To Bullet Point, who's sitting a handy second alongside King of Cities, the spotted cap. Beaumark in a striped jacket under William Buick is disputing 4th with a nose-banded Gladius. King's Gambit out wide, red cap on the move. Check and Challenge in the cheap piece is coming with him. More in behind on Skukuza, the light blue, is looking for a way through. Moving on down towards the last quarter mile. One from the right, King of Cities, is moving up to challenge owner mate Boiling Point. Still bang there, Bullet Point to the pink. Gladius in the noseband. Skukuza has found daylight. Pale blue beginning to run on. Entering the last furlong, King of Cities, Gladius, Boiling Point, Skukuza. Nothing more from Bullet Point. King of Cities being pressed again by a rallying owner mate. And it's going to be heads up, heads down. King of Cities over Boiling Point in the Strensall. Good race for Sheikh Mohammed Obaid Al Maktoum. Skukuza was next in, then Gladius and King's Gambit.
He's promised quite a bit this season. Today he has delivered, King of Cities. They wanted to go forward. He missed the break. It was probably a blessing in disguise. Drafted in behind the owner mate and he's beaten him. Boiling Point's run a great race in second. Skukuza likewise in third. Having been pretty untractable and very keen early. That's an excellent run from Skukuza. Gladius travelled up best but flattened out, finished 4th, and King's Gambit, I'm afraid, continues to flatter to deceive. But this horse, who's done a bit of that this season, has now won, Mark.
Yeah, stepping back up in trip. They tried him in the French Derby earlier in the summer, didn't get home that day, dropped him back to a mile, and he's basically been too quick, I think, for Boiling Point. He's gone past him and he looks set to win comfortably. But fair play to Boiling Point. He's rallied really well with the white cap in the same silks, but he just got done for a turn of speed. He finishes off well. And Skukuza as well, who looked in trouble early in the home straight, he's finished with a real rattle.
Yeah, tough performance from King of Cities. As you say, Nick, maybe the plan was to lead, but as it turned out, it was an ideal position to be in because he managed to drive up, not get too far away in what was a little bit of a muddling affair. There were plenty of them pulling early. I think the best horse in the race, in my opinion, has finished 3rd, Skukuza. I think the race kind of was a little bit more messy for him than it was each of the first 2 home. He was still looking for room here where they're able to get rolling.
He's a beautiful horse, Skukuza,
yeah.
Isn't he? It's inconceivable that he's not going to make up into a good group winner.
Yeah, and the ground would be as quick as he wants it, at least, if not a little bit quicker. And yet, under the circumstances, he's run really well. He'll probably get a little bit further as well, which is yet to try.
But for many people, today is Rosalian Day. And that horse's connection, Sheikh Mohammed Obaid, Richard Hannon, Sean Levey have teamed up with patent race success in the opener, courtesy of King of Cities, who's King of the City of York this afternoon.
Well, in the end, King of Cities clung on, really, in the Strensall Stakes after looking like he might be quite a dominant winner. Sean Levey, of course, was on board. It could be a big day for him, for Richard Hannon, and for Sheikh Mohammed Obaid, who had the 1-2 in the race. Talk me through the race. I think was the intention not to try and be a bit more forward, and he missed the break again?
To be honest, I wanted to make the running.
Right.
I've ridden him in the past, albeit I've always thought he wanted to go a bit further. But even over a mile trip, when given, when sat in and given him a nice ride, he finds ways of finding a way of not getting out. So I was adamant today I wanted to go forward on him, but Ryan did say he missed it last time in Goodwood, and he never gave me the impression he was going to jump slow. But as soon as the gates opened, he stood there for a second. So, but look, lucky enough, he was willing once he came out, and I got him a handy enough position, I suppose.
Yeah, did it end up being something of a blessing in disguise in the early stage? You were able to get a nice position and a toe through from the owner companion.
No, 100%, and I think the biggest problem I would have had is if we went up that rail, I would have found it very difficult from the position I was in, but considering the track's obviously riding that bit better down the middle, I had a chance to kind of go when I liked, and I think you'd argue down the 2, he looked as though he was going to be very dominant and win away, but he's half got there, and no, there's no badness in him. I imagine he's probably an intelligent horse that just keeps a little bit up his sleeve.
So do you think he might benefit from some headgear, maybe just to focus on the task and getting it done?
Maybe. I did mention, if it was a horse we were going to keep for next year, maybe like even gelding might help him. Look, there's loads of little things, and it's only a little issue. At the same time, he is putting his front, and he's showing signs that he has a lot of ability.
Looking ahead to the City of York, newly Group 1. 7 furlongs, does that worry you at all for Rosalian?
Well, look, obviously, it's a worry only because he hasn't done that. He hasn't taken that trip on since he was a 2-year-old. Yeah. And realistically, as time goes on, horses' cadence figures and their sectional times, they go down, not up. So it's a slight worry, and there's no doubt could have done with a better draw. But I think the saving grace is ultimately he is the best horse in the field. And look, this is kind of like his last chance of getting his ground in a Group 1. Albeit he's stepping back a furlong, it's going to be difficult going forward, as the weather changes, to get his ground again. So look, it was disappointing he missed France last week, but look, he's here and he's got to play.
And a strong pace. It looks like a strong pace on paper. That should help him.
On paper, no doubt. Audience got blinkers on today. Sheila Williams' horse sets solid fractions early doors. It's literally them. If you look at the Lennox Stakes, it looks as though they're going to set. We're going to be basically trying to follow them. The rest of the field, we're going to probably just try and stay as close as we can without putting a gun to our horses, and we'll see.
Very best of luck, Sean. Congratulations on this opening win as well.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Richard Hannon is it's a Wolverhampton accent, not a Somerset accent. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. He's talking to me about how I say cup. He's won the Strensall Stakes, which is nice, with King of Cities, who in the end just clung on. He seems to be trying to find ways to not win races.
Well, he did there. I do agree with you. He's nearly won a lot of races, and he sort of meandered there a bit. He's a very talented horse, and I think it's all about next year for him. He's by that stallion Debawi. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he might make it, which kind of helps. But he got there quite, I'm not going to say easily, but I hate using the word nicely as well. Yeah, and he looked like he's going to go and win quite well. And then he's gone that way. But he's got loads and loads of ability. And speak to Sheikh Mohammed Obaid and see what he thinks, but hopefully he stays in training next year, and it could be a big year for him.
Would headgear help? Sean's just mentioned that he also mentioned to you potentially this would be a horse that would thrive as a gelding, perhaps.
Ooh.
He did say he mentioned that.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, gelding is it's
not an option.
Well, no, it might well be an option, but I don't think so. I'd rather make a stallion than a gelding.
Okay.
And Sheikh
so that's
Mohammed
not
Obaid.
On your mind.
No.
Right.
No, I don't. I won't question the way he did it today. He did it, and that was nice to see. He might have looked a bit green in areas, and like he didn't quite know what he was doing, and he's having his sort of 4th, 5th run of the year. He's a very good horse, but he's very economical with his output.
Which can make them last. It's a win and you're in for the Bahrain International Trophy. Would you be fancying going there?
Bahrain, did you say? Yes, it would, yeah. It looks a lovely track there. I've never been there. But I mean, a win and you're in, and that will be a massive option. We've got a few others that we've looked at for that as well. But this fella might well suit it right around there. I think it's 1.25 miles, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think 1.25 miles will suit him even more than today.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. Looking ahead to the big one, City of York New League Group 1, Rosalian in. Now, I'm not going to revisit old ground on this, but is the horse 100% for today?
Yes, he was this morning, and he will be now. It's a thing he gets from time to time, and he was the Sounds of Bell on Sunday morning. And I ran it for as long as I could on Friday, even put the ferry back to Saturday morning, hoping that he would come right. And we saw him on Friday night, and there was no way I could have travelled Brazilian like that. And he wouldn't even take a chance with any horse like that, let alone him. And this race happens to come at the right time, and we're lucky like that. And I hope he gets rewarded. But it was always our intention originally to go to the Jacques de Marois, and the France Gallo have been very understanding. You know, because you can have an 8-day if you have a vet cert, and they wished him a speedy recovery, and you know, they were happy with our explanation. But he was intended to go there, but we didn't, and we kept the balls in the air for as long as possible, and that's why we ran it till the last minute. And he can come to York, and same thing, he was sound on Sunday morning. If I owned a plane that took horses, I would have put him on it.
Is this an issue you've grappled with all his career?
Yeah, well, we train him in pads, so we take them off and put the racing plates on, and he gets these deep-seated corns at the back of his frock. And it's like someone putting something under your fingernail, like it's really sore. And he's very lame for 24 hours, and then it's fine. You know, we have a spa and a water treadmill at home, so we can keep him ticking over. He didn't lose any time.
That's good to hear. He should get a nice setup to settle it as well. I know the draw hasn't been particularly kind, perhaps.
Yeah, but, you know, he's out of the mess, and it'll be trickier from there. Depends what speed they go. Quite often you think they're going to go flat out in races, and they don't.
On paper they should, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they should, but that's my point, is that sometimes they don't. If they don't, you know, Sean will have to do something else, but I'm not tying him down to instructions. He'll have to make his decisions out there. We've got the horse here, fit as a fiddle, looks great, very happy with him. We've done our job, and he'll go and do his.
Well, he adds immeasurably to the first Group 1 running of the City of York. Best of luck later. Congratulations here.
Thank you. Not the one we came for, but hopefully it won't get in the way.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.